All right, welcome into the Wheelhouse here on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle here on this Sunday morning. Matt Mascarenas, Michael Stone with you always on these Sunday mornings. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I feel good. You know, it's just one of those days where everything so far is good to go this morning. And
Where you don't want to wake up.
yeah, I kind of didn't
Everybody
want to wake
sucks.
up.
Everything.
Everybody, what song is that?
That's Limp Bizkit's break stuff.
Everybody sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we keep going down in that, it's gonna be more of like a
We'd almost have to be on undrafted, uncensored at that point.
really exactly.
Even though
exactly.
I made a swear word last week, so we had to put explicit content when posting to YouTube. So
Oh no, you had to
it is
do
the
that.
internet, though. There are no rules.
Right. That's true.
Nobody can tell us what to do.
Nobody can tell us what to do.
Yeah, we cut through red tape. Is what.
Slice right through it.
Yeah. So a lot to get to today. Last night was a pretty cool WNBA night. The W is back for the last couple of days after a 3-week hiatus for the Olympics, and there had been a lot of storylines to follow there. So we will get into the W. Matt, foosball is back, and no, not the little soccer dudes that you play, but football is back. Fantasy football is back as well, Matt. We'll see how many leagues each other are in, although I really cut down the number of leagues that I'm in, so my answer is pretty short and sweet. The end of the baseball season is right around the corner as well, and we'll get into, should everyone's final game, Matt, be like what happened this weekend? We'll get into that as well. Once again, you can go to all social media platforms, and you can find us there on Facebook, Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle, on X, that is at 5280 Sports Radio, Instagram, they're all the same. Just search Elevation 5280 Sports and you'll find it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and our Spotify channel if you so choose. You can get all the pod drops there as well. And this and most podcasts on this network brought to you by Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Coming up on September 14th and 15th, you'll see the Pikes Peak Card Show. So if you're in the Denver area or Pikes Peak or Colorado Springs area, you can go down there. Vendor tables available now. This is Saturday and Sunday, so you can go down the 200 map plus tables.
Oh boy,
we're going. So there you go, and you can go to pikespeakcardshow.com to get all of the information. Denver Sports Cards will be down there as well, and obviously they'll have a lot of other cool memorabilia as well. If you're a Funko Pop collector, if you're still into the Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, they have all that stuff at all of these card shows. So make sure you go and check that out if you are in not only those areas, but if you're in Colorado in general, go down and check that out.
We'll be making a run down there for sure. My kid and I got to go get. I don't know if you're into the baseball cards or football cards, but I know the rookies are coming out and start pulling rookies out of packs. So I know we're going to be down there for sure.
I used to have so many cards, Matt, and I think I sold them all, to be honest with you. I had nice organized binders, and I just got rid of them. I don't know if it was a loss of interest, Matt, or just at the time didn't have any time, but I don't think I have any cards left, to be honest with you.
I've gotten kind of back into it. You should see my table back here. That's full of cards that I've been sorting and going through, and just trying to get them more organized. But yeah, I took like a brief, almost 15 years off, and then I got back into it because my kid collects the Pokemon stuff, and we started hitting card shops up. So I was like, oh man, I might as well buy some cards too, some cards. So I'm into it, and I'm waiting for this. Go get the rookies out. because that's one of the things I remember when I was collecting them was whether it was basketball, football, I always wanted to go pull some rookies,
Yeah, you got to get those. Got to get those rookie packs. And
rookie cards.
yeah, make sure you go and support your local card shops wherever those are. So we will see what that card show is all about, Matt. Maybe do a live report from down there. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, I'm in for sure.
Yeah,
you got it.
There you go. All right, we're gonna kick things off, kind of how we normally do with fire and ice. Again, a lot to get over on this weekend, so we will kick things off as always with fire and ice.
It's now time for fire.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
He's on fire.
I'm the only one a burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
And ice.
Ice Cube, baby.
You're as cold as ice. Ice, ice, baby.
All right, Matt, where would you like to begin this morning?
Let's go fire.
Oh my, he's on fire. All right, Matt, number 3 on our fire list. We kind of touched on it, just everything kind of being back in front of us, in our face, on our screens. However, wherever you can consume everything is pretty much in your hands nowadays. But yeah, foosball is back and fantasy football is also back. Obviously, that comes along with it. And the WNBA is back. It was a pretty darn good weekend in the W as well. And kind of one of those WNBA subjects are next on the fire list, so we'll kind of hold off on that one, Matt. But yeah, football is back, and the worthless preseason is almost over. It's so worthless, Matt, that we're down to 3 games. Pretty soon, we may just have 1 game in the preseason to you kind of need maybe 2 to determine starters and backups and stuff like that. But we're getting down to where it's almost non-existent, and they're going to keep adding regular season games as we saw a couple years ago, and there's now 17 games. I don't like the odd number, so maybe they'll get it to 18 here in a second. Players hate it, but they don't want to play 18 games. But I don't know if they really have it. I know they have an NFLPA, Matt, but it seems like the suits don't really care about what they have to say. So, but anyway, the 17-game season is back. Fantasy. First of all, let's get this question out of the way. How many fantasy football leagues are you doing?
I'm doing 3 this year. And I've done 3 in the past, and I think 3 is a good number. I almost joined a dynasty league, but I don't know, because I enjoy fantasy football through the season, but I don't know if I want anything to do with it in the I don't pay attention in the off season,
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to join the dynasty league, because I think that's all year long. Even though it sounds like fun, when I was in one before, it wasn't. But I'm in 3. How many are you in?
I'm only doing 1 this year. Maybe we'll do an elevation one again. That was kind of fun last year. And again, if whoever wins the fantasy football league, maybe we'll give away another jersey, or maybe tickets to a game or something like that. So obviously you'd have to be in our home state of Denver to attend a game, or wherever you are, maybe we can finagle getting tickets to a game wherever you are. But I don't know, maybe a jersey, it's easier to ship if needed, I guess, too. So
yeah,
we'll figure it out. But yeah, they're only doing 1 this year, Matt, and it's $100 buy-in. So that's
it's a big one. Yeah.
enough for me, and have been in this league for about 15 years. By the way, speaking of dynasty leagues, I did a baseball dynasty league, Matt, and it was super weird. I did it for a couple years, and then you kind of you had keepers, like you didn't lose some players, and it's kind of the same thing with the draft and stuff like that, but you had like 4 or 5 keepers where you didn't lose those players in the off season, which was, I guess, kind of cool. But and then I think if you drop them, Matt, you had to pay a penalty or something like that. It was weird.
Yeah. The the dynasty stuff is really involved, and you really got it's a long-term thing you got to play. This year I don't know if I doubt you. I don't. It doesn't sound like you've had your first draft yet, but I had a draft this past week.
Wednesday, coming up Wednesday.
Coming up Wednesday, I had one on Wednesday this past week, and it was so. Actually, last year I won two of the 3 leagues I was in, and then this league I had won this league, and the way I won it was like they let me in the playoffs somehow, my team in the playoffs, and then I just won. I won out. I mean, it was ridiculous, but I haven't done any research. I haven't done any listen to any podcast, looked at any magazines or anything, and I'm in the draft, right? So I got the 12, I got the the 12-1 pick on the snake draft coming back through. So I'm looking at the draft and I'm watching it unfold. Christian McCaffrey went first, and then there was a run of like 5 wide receivers, which kind of shocked me a little bit because I didn't know that's where we were this year with that wide receivers are putting, because I've always felt like receiver is a dependent position, and if you got the quarterback there to get the ball to the guy, then you got a good but I want to say it was 4 out of the next picks, or 5 or 6 picks were wide receivers, all of them. And it was just something that hit me. I was like, what is this? What we're doing this year? Is this what this season's going to be in fantasy football? Is everybody's loading up on receivers?
Apparently, yeah.
It just caught me by surprise, and
those are the big bucks nowadays.
But then I was like, okay, I gotta go see what's going on. So I started listening to this podcast. And
is it a PPR league?
No. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yes, it is. It is a PPR league. I take that back.
I take that back. Yeah.
Well, it's always been a PPR league, and in the past, like just the run on receivers. So I'm looking at this league again, and I'm like, I think I might win it again. But just from listening to going through some things and doing some research, I think it's looking good for me again. I don't want to put the cart before the old horse, that how that saying goes, but I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with my team. I like my team, and going forward, it's exciting. It's exciting to get in the fantasy football stuff again.
Yeah, and hopefully we will be launching a Gridiron Intel as well, kind of a fantasy football show where we go over all of the games, our picks for those games, who to pick up from those teams, as we normally do. Sometimes we'll throw a Gridiron Intel segment into the Wheelhouse where we kind of do a run through of the games, who you do want to pick on your fantasy team, not only season-long teams, but the one-day fantasy leagues as well, because those are getting bigger and bigger.
And Mike, I've gotten into the betting. I don't know if we were going to have a betting show. Maybe we do a hybrid fantasy football betting show, but I am all about it. Like I won. I don't want to tell you how much I won yesterday, but I won some decent. I built my bank back up. My bank is built back up from that Georgia Tech win yesterday, because I took Georgia Tech, and it's crazy because I was a Florida State fan for so long, but there was just something there that I took Georgia Tech. I didn't get in on the Montana State cover, in that game against New Mexico, but there was a lot of let's just say I have built my bank up these past couple weeks, and I am ready for football season, Mike. This is going to be my year. This is going to be my parlay year where I hit a big one. I can just feel it. I could just feel it,
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Maybe a betting segment as well, as we will probably be shifting to all things football sprinkled in with what playoffs are coming up here in baseball and the WNBA and stuff like that. So we will have a lot to talk about when October and then the start of the basketball and hockey seasons as well. So we will be full. By the way, did you see the day where what is it called? Where all the sports are playing on one day? What are they calling that nowadays? The sports. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, there's a unique.
I think it's like I want to say it's October 24th.
Where everything's playing.
It's a Sunday, obviously, because it's the NFL, NBA, NHL, and it's like World Series Game 2 or something like that.
Yep.
I forgot what they're calling it.
Yeah, it's the greatest day of all time, or greatest day in the world, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
It would be to me.
what they're calling it. So I didn't write the rules. All right, man. Number 2 on our fire list. Last night in the W was a pretty big night. You had the Minnesota Lynx going up against the Indiana Fever. Big night for, well, really both of these teams. Fever hanging on to that number 7 spot in the playoffs. The Minnesota Lynx get a 10-point win, 90-80. Caitlin Clark breaks another record, Matt. Fastest rookie to get 500 points and 200 assists in a season, Matt. So she's just breaking everything possible. Although the Indiana Fever lose, Minnesota Lynx officially clinch a playoff spot with the win as they sit in that 3rd seed right behind the New York Liberty and the Connecticut Sun. But how about this, Matt? So they retired Maya Moore's jersey number last night. Number 23 is in the rafters. The whole starting 5 now for that Dynasty Lynx team, where they won 4 championships in like 6 years. They are all in the rafters now. Maya Moore finally joins that esteemed group of W players. And how about this, Matt? She wore number 23. She was the first female Jordan Brand athlete to hook on to the Jordan. I don't know if you saw the huge like briefcase thing they gave her last night, Matt.
Yeah, full of her
Like,
shoes and
golden
gold.
shoes. It was a nice little jacket. It was pretty cool. How about this? She wore number 23. Jordan was 23. Caitlin Clark idolized Maya Moore growing up, Matt, and this is no new news. She scored 23 points last night. So if that's not a cool little, I don't know if it's a nod or just an ironic thing to happen, a just one of those things written in the stars, Matt. But that was pretty cool. Even though the Fever lost, CC gets 23 points on her idol, her number 23, sent to the rafters.
Yeah, and there's so much history like that's being made and with the WNBA this year, whether it's Caitlin, Angel, I mean, just watching all these things happen, and it's like the WNBA is as hot as it's ever been right now, but there's still like that that cloud that's kind of hanging over it when things pop up after the games, like the negative things, just because of what, because somebody's going to take what Caitlin did yesterday and throw it and twist it around, and we're going to hear about it for a couple days. And it's just, I don't know why we can't just be happy for I love watching that and Indiana came back. There was at least 2 or 3 times they did it in the first half. They came back and they were within a basket or 2. And then in the 3rd quarter, me and the Lynx went on another run, got the lead, stretched back up to 15. Then you go in the 4th quarter, they're within a basket or 2 again. So what's happening with the Indiana Fever and what CC's been able to get that team to do is just it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's historical in itself. And just getting to see these things along the way. Did you watch the whole game? Did you see that guy paint that picture of her in the during halftime? Maya Moore?
Yeah. I mean, I had it on. I had the halftime on in the background, but yeah.
That was cool. Like the WNBA, and it's not just Caitlin Clark. Like, even though my wife and I try to catch every single Caitlin Clark game that's on, we watch a lot of WNBA. So it's great to have. So I was excited for it to be back. Like, this past week has just been awesome. And the Fever that was their first loss since coming back from the All-Star break. They've been on a little run there that's got them like pretty much. I feel like they're going to make some noise in the playoffs this year, but yeah, it was cool to see that for sure. And Maya Moore, and just the history that's there with that Minnesota Lynx franchise there. Like you said, 4 out of 6, and everybody's in the rafters. They were showing players that were there, to there to watch her get her number retired. So that was freaking cool. Really, really cool. And I mean, the game was a great game. Like the ending result, there was some, like I said, 13, 14 point leads, but Indiana kept coming back. They kept coming back. So I think that's what you can expect going down the stretch here. Some really good basketball.
Yeah. And if you're wondering about Maya Moore, because I didn't know she only played 7 seasons, Matt. She
Mhm.
only played 7 seasons in the league, 2011 to 2018. That was it.
Yeah, and they were blaming her husband. What's his name?
Jonathan,
they
I
were
want to say.
what? Say that again.
Jonathan?
Yeah, isn't it Irons or something like that?
Jonathan Irons, yeah.
They were blaming him for ruining her career. I was reading something and watching something, and they're like, this MFer ruined what could have been one of the greatest basketball play. I don't know the whole story behind that, but I was just reading that, and I was watching that whole thing too, and I was like, God, who is that guy? And how, like, why is he there? Why are we seeing this guy with my, you know what I mean? I kind of understood it was her husband, but in those situations, and then hearing like a little bit of the backstory, it was kind of funny. But yeah, that's something weird. That, I mean, a great player like that, and she just cut short, and it's interesting. But a lot of stuff on, a lot of chatter online where they were blaming that dude.
So if you're wondering about her, again, she only played from 2011 to 2018. So in those 7-8 seasons, Matt, 4 times did the Lynx win a championship: 2011, 13, 15, 17. So they kind of skipped a year in between all of those. But yeah, 4 championships in 6 years. She was the Finals MVP in 2013, the MVP in 2014 of the entire league. Of those only 7 years, Matt, she was an All-Star 6 of them. All-Star Game MVP 3 of them. All NBA WNBA first team 5 of her 7 years. And then the other 2 years, Matt, she was on all defensive second team. WNBA steals leader, scoring leader, rookie of the year, all rookie team, 20th anniversary team, 25th anniversary team. And how about this, Matt? Two gold medals as well as part of those USA teams. And dating back to her 4 years at UConn, Matt, with those, those UConn teams that were just so hard to stop. 2 times did UConn win the championship when she was there as well. So a winner on all levels, Matt, and she didn't even need to play, I guess, double-digit seasons for her legacy to be secured. So a winner on all levels, and yeah, I didn't know a lot about the stuff that they were saying about her went down. So to have all that done in only 7 years, Matt, in the league, and they showed some of the highlights. Some of the highlights of her cutting to the basket. Some of they were talking about her. I don't know if it was her final shot as a Lynx, Matt, but to beat the, ironically, Indiana Fever in one of those playoff games, Matt. They were saying, pause the video when she's getting rid of when the ball's about to leave her hands, and then pause the Michael Jordan video against his last shot in Utah in the finals. And like the background is almost the same, except Byron Russell's not on the ground being a little bee trying to get up, but kind of almost the same endings for both of those players.
Yeah, it was just something that, her collegiate. I remember her collegiate career a lot, but more than I even remembered her WNBA career. But yeah, she was something, man. She was something, and to go out like that is just awesome.
All right, man. Number 1 on our fire list. It was called Night of the Dragon. And no, we're not talking about Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. This was Goran Dragic's last game, last hoorah, if you will. And I'm pretty sure it took place in Slovenia, where he and the likes of Luka Doncic is from and stuff like that. But this was basically an all-star game, a gold medal game. I mean, this was like the Olympics, man. I mean, you had Luka and Joker on the same team. Joker, once again, pouring water bottle on top of Luka. Joker's getting steals and lobbing the ball off the backboard to himself. And I don't know if you saw the 3-pointer he made, the little celebration he did afterwards. They need to get Bogdanovic on this Nuggets team.
I think so too. I do too.
Because there's been talks about getting him over here. There was also talks about getting Micic over here. I'd rather have Bogdanovic on the Nuggets. He's a little bit younger, but I mean, go on YouTube or go and look up the Jokic's 3-pointer. I think that even the Nuggets posted it on their social media. Said, can we
Mm-hmm.
get more Jokic celebrations like this? But this was a fun game. This is not a serious game, so Joker was having fun with it. Dirk Nowitzki came out and played. Steve Nash came out and played because they were teammates. They were teammates in Phoenix, so Steve Nash was out there. How about this? Chris Bosh, because they were teammates in Miami. Chris Bosh came out for the first time on a basketball court, Matt, since 2016.
Oh man,
because he was almost forced to retire because of the blood clot issue that he was going with, and his career was probably cut short than it could have been. So I don't know if you saw this game, Matt. I don't know if the viewers saw this game, but go on YouTube, go wherever you can get highlights or something like that. I'm sure there's a bunch online, but it was cool to see. And now my question is, Matt, I mean, because he didn't really have a goodbye tour like Dirk Nowitzki did. Like some of these guys, they get gifts from basically every team in the league when they go and visit those places. I mean, to have like a celebrity, basically all-star game as your last game in your home country was pretty cool. Should all players be doing this?
Yeah, that was awesome. Like I love the way that I don't like the well, I should take that back because it is kind of nice, but like if you're gonna like what Kobe did, like when Kobe was leaving and it was like a one last hurrah and everybody was tipping their hat and doing things for him at the end. That was cool. Dwayne Wade, there was kind of the similar situation. And with this, it was cool to see all these guys playing together. But what it does for like us as Nuggets fans is it gets the fantasy booking or the fantasy team like wanting either Luka here or like you said, Bogdanovich here, or like you said, what was the other one? Micic here. That's what it does for me. I see that and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be awesome to get Joker and Luka's the one dude in the NBA that I would trade the house for to get him to be a part of this basketball team with Joker. And that's everybody. Nobody's off. Obviously, Joker's not going to go anywhere, but everybody else is on the table for a trade like that. But yeah, I enjoy watching that basketball like that, and I'm wondering, if it's going to be a situation where because Joker's been playing a lot of basketball this year. Have you noticed Joker? I feel like he's been playing a lot of basketball, and I don't think you can point to him and say basketball, like, because that was the thing about him was basketball's a job for him. He just wants to be with his horses. After what I've seen this summer, I think we can kind of throw that mindset out of the way. And Joker loves to play basketball.
Well, maybe for his country he loves it because you saw him. I mean, they won a bronze medal, Matt, and he was partying without a shirt on. He was going crazy. He was drunk at the medal ceremony. I mean, this dude loves his country, first of all. But
he does.
I think it's true that the NBA is his job because that's where he gets paid. That's where he gets paid $50 million a year.
He gets paid a lot of money there.
Yeah. So games like this is just fun for him. And he took the Olympics serious, but for him to win any kind of medal for his country, that's when you just saw him let loose and have fun with it. Yeah,
and that's great to see. And I'm just hoping that there's now Joker he's got, because this is the first time that I've heard of rumors of him requesting players or somebody to come play or to get somebody, but he got somebody that we know he wants in Russell Westbrook. So, and he loves Aaron Gordon. He loves all the guys on this team. But I think that if you're throwing more guys that he likes to play basketball with, could we see a more, and I'm not saying Joker's not fun. I'm not saying he doesn't mess around on the court when he's with the Nuggets. I'm not saying that, but could there be more of a little, you know what I mean? Like, could we see more of what we saw over the summer with Joker? And I know he's playing with his country, like you said, and everything, but could you think could there be like a little like uptick of the exuberation. Is that the word? The excitement about where somebody can look and say, hey man, that guy really loves to play basketball. Because I know we all know he loves to play basketball, but that's like the biggest thing was could he take this attitude that he's had all summer and kind of apply it to the basketball with the Nuggets and maybe make it not so much of a job and have fun at the same time? Or I'm just wondering if we're going to see kind of like a different mindset with Joker this year.
So basically, you're asking, will we see him smile at all? Because he doesn't really laugh or smile when he's playing in the NBA.
Not as much as he does over when he's playing in the Olympics. No, you're right. And I'm just wondering if we're going to see more of that. Can we see more of that? Is it there? Because that's Joker. Everything he does, he can be the face of the league. He can. And I think this is what people were waiting for to see. And you saw him dumping the water on Luka in that game. And then him and Luka just they mess around so much, and there's just so much there's so much there that I think we can maybe see more of that, more fun had by Joker this season. And again, it's like he was probably the best player in the Olympics this year, right? I mean, statistically, and the things that he did with that team to get that team into a position to where they almost won a gold medal. They could have been they could have been in a gold medal situation because they had Team USA on the ropes. Is this that's what gets me going, the Nuggets fan of me. I want to see what this turns into with Joker.
So do you know how to pronounce the capital of Slovenia?
No.
Okay, well, that's where the game was held, and I cannot pronounce this. There's 2 J's in this city.
Yep. Nope.
It's like
not even going to try.
La Jublana.
I'm like that Drewski meme. I'm just nope. Not even going to attempt it.
So this is how it's spelled, by the way. LJ. So that automatically threw me off. LJUB LJANA.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah. But anyway, that is the capital of Slovenia. So that's where this game was held. That's the answer to our question. It looks nice. Looks like a nice country.
Nice place to have a basketball game.
There you go. All right, let's turn things over to our ice list, Matt. Starting at number 3, things have just gone absolutely downhill for the Minnesota Vikings. First of all, their number 1 draft pick, Matt, J.J. McCarthy. I mean, they were like, peace out, Kirk Cousins. We're not giving you any money. And they bring in J.J. McCarthy, who they gave a pretty hefty rookie contract to. Yep. And he goes and tears his meniscus. He's out for the year. They lost one of their starting wide receivers. He goes down in training camp, or it was a preseason game, one of the two. And I don't know, Matt, there were even talks about them trading for Russell Wilson, but then Mike Tomlin comes out and says he might be our starter.
That's another zoo over there too.
Listen, Mike Tomlin. You're
Don't do
probably
it,
better off going with Justin Fields.
Trade him. If you have somebody that wants to trade for Russell Wilson, you do it, because you don't want to be in that situation during the season that you're going to be in.
What is his new saying? Is it? Because remember out here it was "Let's ride."
Yeah, I think it's like "Still curtain, let's cover." I don't know, something like that. It's something odd, but that dude's the same. He's never going to change.
Let's forge steel.
Let's forge steel. Yeah. I don't know. It's lame. Whatever he's got
cringy.
going on.
It's another Scott's Tots episode where we're just
hey, Michael
biting
Scott,
our teeth.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. So yeah, the Vikings are just in turmoil right now. Who is, because they don't even have Dobbs there anymore because he left.
No, it's Sam Darnold, I believe.
Oh, I don't know if you can get any worse than what Minnesota's going through right now, and they haven't even played one game of a regular season yet.
Yeah, and as a Packers fan, I'm like, darn it.
And as a Bears fan, you're laughing at them. We're laughing at
you
them.
You as a Bears fan, yeah, we're laughing at them. We're like, ha 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 ha. I thought this NFC North NFC North was going to be one of the most competitive divisions, and we were looking at Chicago. Is that the team that's going to add some more competitiveness to it? And we don't know, but now we know for sure, barring any type of a miracle, this Minnesota team is going to struggle because they don't have their plan at quarterback. They're going to have to go. Do you call Sam Darnold a journeyman at this point? Like, is he?
Well, he's only been in the league 6 years, and he's been on 5 teams. So I think that's safe safe to say. I don't know how long he's been in the league, but he's been on. Well, he's only been on 3 teams, I guess.
Well, he went to the Jets. Didn't he start with the Jets?
He started with the Jets. He got traded to Carolina,
then San Francisco.
So 4 teams in maybe 6 years.
Yeah. So that's and nobody's giving him a shot. Nobody's thinking that he can play, and like it. So it's going to be a struggle there. And I mean, who they got running the ball? Is it Madsen, or is it I don't even know who they got running the football, but Minnesota's always been good at running the football.
Adrian Peterson went back.
Did they bring Adrian Peterson back? Chris Carter, they're reaching out to Chris Carter to see if he wants to play receiver. Dante Culpepper might get a call. Dante, what are you doing? Are you ready to go? Dante might get a call.
Your boy Brett. What is Brett Favre doing here?
Favre, he might get another shot. It's time to suit him up. I mean, they're in a world of hurt there, world of trouble there in Minnesota. And like as a Packers fan and you as a Bears fan, we hate to see that. We just don't want to see it.
Yeah,
but
we want a competitive NFC North.
Yeah, it's right. We that's what we want.
Although I will say Caleb Williams is looking pretty sharp out there.
I do like him. I just don't know if Eberflus Gesundheit is the guy for him. That's the problem with these quarterbacks like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, and in Atlanta, I know I'm going off on a little, but Atlanta's not even. They didn't even play Penix in the preseason. Like, what the hell are you doing? So they got to
get Kirk Cousins up to speed, right?
I guess, but like, when are you going to play your young guy?
Kirk Cousins is still mad that
he got all that money and now.
Well, no, he can't spend his money at Chick-fil-A because they're closed on Sundays, and that stadium has a Chick-fil-A in the stadium.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Nobody can even buy Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
That's funny.
So they got to wait for a Thursday night game or like one of those weird Saturday games or a Monday night game. So this is kind of the rundown of Minnesota's injuries. TJ Hawkinson, who they got from Detroit, was that last season or the season before? So he's out with a knee injury. He's probably not good to go week 1. Thayer Thomas, one of their bright wide receivers, now he's in the concussion protocol. We just mentioned J.J. McCarthy's on injured reserve with a torn meniscus. Robert Tonyan, he came over from the Packers.
From the Packers, yep.
He's got a back injury. He's questionable for week 1. Jordan Addison, who was slated as their number 1 wide receiver.
That's the dude. Mm-hmm.
He had an ankle injury. He hasn't practiced since August 21st. This is Najee Thompson, one of their star cornerbacks in the back. He had a knee injury, so he's questionable for week 1. Their other tight end, Trey Knox, they put on injured reserve. So now Hawkinson's backup's not even ready to go. And then their other tight end, Matt, is not questionable. Nick Muse, so he is out with an undisclosed injury, Matt. So all their tight ends are sleeping. So if you're in the market for a Vikings tight end for your fantasy team, don't even look Minnesota's way. Don't even look Minnesota's way for anything really. All of their tight ends are out. 2 of their wide receivers are out. Their quarterback is just questionable. So telling you right now, just stay away from Minnesota's offense for the time being.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson may be the only value there, but
That's
still
right.
it's like, who's throwing him the football? Is it going to be Sam Darnold? Is it going to be Nick Mullins? Nick Mullins is on that.
If he wasn't pissed off with Kirk Cousins, imagine his attitude now.
Right. And I mean, running back wise, they got Ty Chandler, Gaskins, and my boy from Green Bay, Aaron Jones, is over there now. So I feel like there's still some value there in the running back position potentially, but but it would be nice if one of those tight ends was reliable too. They can do something there with that. But Minnesota is going to be very, very interesting this year. They might have a top 10 pick next year, top 5 pick if this keeps going that way. But like, what are they going to do with Justin Jefferson, who like you just mentioned, he was grumpy there with Kirk Cousins. Like, what's he going to do now? Are they going to trade him? Do you think they trade him just to be done? Like, hey,
I don't think they'll trade him until he maybe like requests a trade,
makes noise and wants to get traded. I mean, the Vikings are. This would be a good team to like have Hard Knocks on, or just to follow how they're navigating all of this, because there's some stuff there for them. But the quarterback position, Matt Corral, you got Matt. This is a quarterback really consists of.
They brought him back.
Yeah,
well, not back, but they brought him in.
They brought him in, correct? Yeah, you got Matt Corral, Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins. Those are your, and I'm not even saying Jaron Hill, because I doubt Jaron Hill's going to be a part of this roster outside of the practice squad. But you got those 3 guys that you're going to have to pick from, and they like you mentioned earlier, they were calling about Russell Wilson. I think that's going to be something that's going to be more. You remember when they did this when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt? They went and traded for who was it? Sam Bradford, and they went and they got all crazy about that. So this could be a situation where they do something like that. Hell, they might even, if Zach Wilson goes out, if he plays today and or Jarrett Stidham, they might even be calling the Broncos and trying to get one of these guys.
Take them.
You know. So it's going to be interesting how Minnesota navigates this whole the quarterback situation in particular, for sure.
Did the Vikings get a 2-for-1 on Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins? Weren't both those guys literally on San Francisco? Or has Mullins been there a while now?
I think Mullins has when he left San Francisco, he either went to Minnesota. I feel like he was somewhere else too. He might have even been in Philly, maybe. I don't know exactly where, but yeah, that kind of sounds funny. And did you see Trey Lance last night with the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, he had an excellent start for the Cowboys.
So like, yeah, I mean, it's very curious to see what happens there in Minnesota with these quarterbacks.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So, and he was the only quarterback that played that entire game for Dallas.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, number 2 on our ice list, Matt. Kind of a funny one, but it retains to us here in Colorado. CU Buffs no longer have to answer questions or have to deal with this one reporter from the Denver Post. Deion Sanders will no longer answer columnist Sean Keeler's questions, CU citing sustained personal attacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and then, you know, that whole story with trying to get like funding or something from Abu Dhabi or whatever that was. Just kind of a weird story there. Quoting this from the Denver Post, actually, CU Athletic Department has informed the Denver Post that Deion Sanders and anyone else within the Buffs program will no longer take questions from columnist Sean Keeler. In a statement provided to the Post editor on Friday, the department official said that decision was due to it is perceived as a series of sustained personal attacks in Keeler's coverage of the football program. When asked for specific examples of how Keeler personally attacked Sanders and the program, a sports information staffer cited his use of phrases such as false prophet,
mm-hmm.
depositioned Deion, all right, Planet
mm-hmm.
Prime, Bruce Lee of BS,
mm-hmm.
the Deion of Kool-Aid, and just the normal circus.
Yeah.
So all those phrases and stuff like that were used, I guess, in some of Keeler's articles.
Yep. I don't. Where did you see the interaction between Deion and Sean when they were at the like it was a press conference and there was an interaction with them? Did you see that at all?
I did not see that one. No.
So it was like a situation where Sean asked a question. And then Deion immediately says, "Oh, why? What are you doing here? Why you don't like us? You don't like, you know, why? You just asking him, why are you like that? Like just asking him like what his problem was and talking to him. And in my opinion, that's something that you could do out when the cameras aren't on or off mic or off the record. I don't know how journalists call that thing. And also, here's the thing too that I guess I don't know, because the way I understand it is Keeler's he's a columnist, right? So a columnist is just peppered in opinions and what that person thinks of what he's writing about. So he puts his opinions and thoughts into a column. The way I understand a journalist being is somebody who reports on things and asks questions to get answers. And what Keeler's doing, and he said it in this little exchange here. If I wish I could have it up so we can listen to it, but there was one thing that he said when Dion was asking him these questions. Why are you like this? What happened to you? What happened? Why don't you like us? Why don't you like this? And then in one point, Keeler said, it pays the bills. When he said that, for me, now this is just me, he lost it all for me, because that is basically saying I'm making a big deal of these things, or I'm putting this stuff out there so I can get clicks, so I can get reads, so I can make a paycheck. That's what I got from that. After that dude said after that, I was like, oh, he's just in it he's in it to make a paycheck. He's in it to get more looks, more clicks, more views, whatever. I did read it. I think Dion and Coach Prime in this situation is overreacting by saying that they're not going to no longer allow the person here. I don't agree with that. But I do agree with not just, and they were doing it for a while. They're not even taking his questions. When he would ask a question, they wouldn't even take it. They would say, next question, next question. Just keep doing that. Just you don't need to single the dude out or say he's banned or he can't even be there. That's the way I understand it. Unless he can be there, but he just can't ask questions. I don't know. But the way I feel about this whole situation is Dion's overreacting, but at the same time that it's good to see things like this get pointed out and things like this get magnified, because I don't think that people in the columnists and I'm not even calling him a journalist, because I really don't understand the difference between a columnist and a journalist. So I'm not even going to go there. But in this specific situation, it's good to be like held accountable for what you write, what you say. And you can't just go out there and just, oh, I'm a columnist, it's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I hate when these people do that. I'm supposed to ask the tough questions. I'm supposed to keep him keep Prime or these guys accountable for what they say and their actions. Like, I'm supposed to do that. I don't buy that for one bit. That gives you the reason to go out and basically write like an asshole, because that's what this guy's doing. He's it's nothing new, right? If you've been in, I've been a consumer of sports talk, sports, whatever you want to. Since I was 15 years old, since I can remember, I would watch these shows and listen to these guys. So I'm fans of these guys, and I would like I want to see what this guy says. But the more and more and more I see it, I don't know why they get the green light to write stuff like that. And then when this guy comes back, he's supposed to just have thick skin. He's supposed to he's supposed to take the higher road all the time. Like, that's just the stuff that I don't understand.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find the clip of it where I guess Sean Keeler asked a question on replacing one of his coaches.
Is that the one where he got? Because let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too.
I had it up here.
Yeah,
Where's that? Is that guy working today, or did he take the day off?
Yeah, don't even ask. But it's funny because if they bring in somebody else from the Denver Post, if they call on him or her, and they're gonna be like, yeah, so and so from the Denver Post, Dion's gonna just sit there like, what is this person gonna ask me now? What is it? Because now not only does Sean Keeler have a stain on his name, but he almost puts a stain on the Denver Post as a whole. Because now no matter who they send there, they're going to be scrutinized. They're going to be, like I said, they're going to say Dion calls on somebody, and they're going to be like, so and so from the Denver Post. He's going to be like, oh, right. So you replaced what's his name, and they're gonna key on every word that new person's going to say now too.
And I don't know how much you follow Denver Post. I don't follow them that much, but there's been a lot of negativity coming from the Post columnists that they've had, that they've fired, that they've had there, that they've had issues there. Now, I found the interaction between Keeler and Sanders. If you want to listen to it real quick.
Coach Sean Keeler, the Denver Post. Happy summer, my man.
You don't like us, man. Why do you do this to yourself?
Come on.
But what happened to get you like this?
It's a good question.
No, I'm serious. 'Cause I want to help. No, I'm serious. I want to help. Like, it would be hard for me to really engage in someone I don't like or something I don't like. I'm just asking why. Like, why?
Gotta pay.
What did I do?
See?
Didn't do anything.
Because it's not normal.
We can talk about that.
Okay.
Can I ask you a football question?
No,
Seriously.
No, we'll talk about that. When we talk about that, I'll talk about that with you.
And that was it. But did you see, like, Keeler was like, I got to pay the bills, man. So that gives you an excuse to call the dude the false prophet. And Deion takes stuff like that, like being called a false prophet or the Bruce Lee of BS. Like, Deion's a very, very proud person. And the way he puts himself out, he does a lot of good things, and he has done a lot of good. You can't deny the fact of what Deion Sanders has done in high school football, college football, and then even in the professional ranks, all that stuff. We can't deny all that stuff, but just that interaction right there. And then like I got to pay the bill. And he did it kind of like, I got to pay the bills. Like he was going to laugh at that.
He did the Jordan shrug.
Yeah. He did the Jordan shrug. Yeah. He's like, and it's like, dude, and then there was another when Warren Sapp was answering questions. And Keeler was there. And look, I don't know. I've never been to one of these, but if I'm like, just say if we got the opportunity to go and ask some questions, right? Mike, are you going to show up with a hat backwards, a nasty shirt on, untucked, and sit there and just sit and ask questions? No, we're going to show up with our polo shirts on, our hair combed, or even if I have a hat on, it's going to be straight. I will
be wearing a hat because number one, don't have any hair. Number two,
same.
I have so many cowlicks, I can't even comb it the way I would want it anyway.
But we're going to look presentable, right? We're not going to look like we just left Subway and had a foot long and got half of it on our shirt. We're not going to look like that, right? So there's a lot of things that go into with some of these guys when you see them and they show up. It's like they're just there to stir the pot. They're just there to stir the crap, and they're going to take little bits and pieces of what this guy said or what the coaches said. Like Warren Sapp in that interview was talking about how we have so many weapons, we have so many guns. Pick a 9mm, pick a 38. Which one do you want? They're going to take that and write that down like Warren Sapp's over there with guns during practice and holding up which gun do you want. So that's what pisses me off about these guys and what they do with Prime and what they got going on in CU. I don't agree that they should have kicked him out, and I think they overreacted in that situation. But at the same time, like in that little exchange there, you can tell Deion was like, "Hey, let's talk about it." And Sean could have said, "You know what? I'm going to save my question. Let's talk about it. Can we find a time to talk about it?" What's wrong with doing that from like there's a give and take there? And why does he's had to still keep being, I pay the bills, man. I got to pay the bills, and there's nothing wrong with this guy likes me. No, nobody likes you over there, man. And that guy has written so many just things. I can't stand. I never met the guy, but just seeing him and seeing how he takes this, it's like, okay, I can understand how he does this to people. And it's not just Deion, it's not just CU. There's other people that can't stand the way he does things. So I on one hand, they overreacted in the CU's position, but on the other hand, it's good to see this type of, again, I don't know if you call it journalism, but this type of stuff get called out and held accountable for it.
Yeah, and I've actually not met him in person, Matt, but interacted with him over the phone when I produced
that's right,
another radio station. Yeah, so me and you have maybe actually talked to him when you filled in that one morning. So,
oh really?
I don't know if we had him on that particular day, but he was on that show a lot. So,
and like I said, I don't know the guy. I've never but
he was always. I mean, he was obviously pleasant over the phone dealing with him in that setting. Mm-hmm. But again, yeah, he wasn't asking. We were asking him questions. He wasn't asking us questions. So I don't know. I doubt it would have been the same as it is, in a CU press conference.
Right.
But yeah, and maybe he just doesn't like Deion. That's
fine. that's fine if you don't like the guy, but if it comes out in your writing, like you at least say it.
And if this wasn't the first, negative interaction between not only him and CU or him and Dion, the Denver Post should be like, "Hey, Sean, we're going to send somebody else over there."
Yeah.
Like before this even happened, they should have been on top of it and be like, "Hey, we're gonna send somebody else over there."
And Dion, I think Dion even said like you got, or I don't know if it was Dion. Somebody was saying like this guy just got it might have been another show I was listening to that he might not have wanted it, but he just got picked to go and you're going to cover CU. And I was like, oh, and this is how he covers CU. So yeah, like you got a point there. Like and the Denver Post could have sent somebody else, but who else do they have over there? Like the way I understand it, they're dropping like flies. Kisla's not there no more. And I remember we talked to Kisla on that show and I loved him.
Yeah. Kisla and
I got along with him.
Kisla and Woody Page are now with it's not, I want to say it's based in Colorado Springs, and I forgot the Colorado Sun, maybe
the Gazette. No,
the Gazette. That's
is the Gazette.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good.
I mean, nobody gets newspapers anymore, so this is all
right.
digitally consumed now. But the days of news. I'd love to get when the Sunday morning paper came, Matt. Always looked at the sports section, and then I always wanted to look at like the Best Buy ads. Yeah. The CD's coming out next Tuesday.
Sundays and Wednesdays were the days that I loved to look at the newspaper.
The smell of the newspaper.
I used to help my dad throw newspapers when I was a kid. So I love all that. I love all that.
Yeah. It always reminds me of that Office episode. I mean, everything always comes back to The Office.
Always.
I forgot where they were though. They're like, hey, it's not some guy going door to door. Somebody throws the paper out of a car.
Right.
I think it was Kevin who said that.
Probably. But all this goes away. All this stuff goes away. Nobody remembers it if Dion and CU has a winning season. But if they lose to North Dakota State next week, this stuff gets turned up to 100. Like it gets amplified, and so it's gonna blow up. And I mean, oh boy, there's a lot of potentials that can happen. And all this football team has to do, and I think they're gonna be just fine, is win football games. That's all they have to do. And all this stuff goes away. Nobody remembers this. Nobody's gonna talk about it at the end of the season. Hey, remember when? No, nobody's gonna care because it doesn't matter.
Unless, like you said, they start losing games and they'll be like, "Hey, remember what that guy Sean Keeler said?"
He was right. Maybe Sean was right. Yeah, it's gonna go one way, and that's why I don't think that CU and Coach Prime should have just yanked him and said no, you can't, because that's what it like gives, that opens up that window and that door, and you could be like sitting there saying, and I know Dion's confident, like, it's not gonna matter, but it's football, man. And that North Dakota State team's pretty damn good. That's a good football team that they're going to. So that's coming in here. They got a big challenge ahead of them. CU does. I think they have, out of all the teams, especially in our region, to win football games this year, CU has the most pressure to do it. And it's because, the position that they're in, with all the talk, with all the hoopla, all the everything surrounded by this program. You got an all-star cast of coaches over there. If they don't win, it's going to blow up. It just is. I don't think it's going to blow up, because I think they're going to win football games, but there's just that chance. And that's why I don't think they should have done it that way. They should have just let him come and just pass on his questions or treat him like crap there. I don't know, but they should have not have came out and banned him from it.
So they're in the Big Ten now, right? Or is this the
Big
final
12
season of? Okay, so it is officially just extinguished.
Oh yeah, it's big time now. That's all they have to do. That's all they have to do is go out and win. Go win football games, man. And I think they're going to do it. I think they will. And then there was your boy Matt Smith, right? Is that his name? Last name Matt. I think he's really good football coverage with the Fan, and he asked Dion, is this a closing of a chapter of if when your sons leave, because they got the most siblings in the league or in the college football on the same team, Shadur and Shiloh, and if that happens, like, will that close a chapter? And Dion said, no, that'll close a chapter on them. They're going on, but I just got started. So from everything that I'm hearing from and listening to Dion, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be there to build this program up, but they need to have a winning season this year. Otherwise, everything that he says, nobody's going to believe it anymore, and everybody's going to start talking even more crap about this guy's the way he's doing things if they don't win football games this year.
Gotta win.
Gotta just win, baby. Oh wait, never mind. We can't do that. We can't say that.
I guess you could, but
the Raiders.
Yeah, they're speaking of messes.
That team is a mess.
Speaking of dumpster fires, that team, and we'll obviously talk about one more of them when the football season begins. But that is going to do it for us here on this Sunday morning. Anything else, Matt, before we depart?
No, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, we're gonna get a lot of stuff coming down. And like with fantasy football, I'm excited. We're trying to get something together, and with the betting and things like that. Just tons of content. Get ready.
Yeah, there you go. Once again, like, subscribe, follow all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Elevation 5280 Sports, and Lifestyle. And make sure you go to our home base, e5280sports.com. Rashad doing a really good job of getting new and fresh articles up there. And then you can catch his show live every Thursday evening. So go and check that out. Obviously uncensored, undrafted, uncensored comes your way almost twice a week, I want to say. And they are live as well. And then you can go to the Audio Vault, Video Vault, catch all the past podcasts as well. So make sure you go to e5280sports.com for all of that. And don't forget, this podcast brought to you by Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Go down there September 14th and 15th. So here in a couple of weeks, it is the big show that they put on down there. 200 plus tables of cards, Matt. Denver Card Show is going to be down there as well, and that's Saturday and Sunday, September 14th and 15th, presented by Pikes Peak Pikes Peak Sports Cards. And go to Pikes Peak. That's a tongue twister.
That's a tongue twister.
Never said it that fast.
Pickle.
But anyway, go to pikespeakscardshow.com for all the information as well. That's going to be down there in Colorado Springs. So if you're in the Denver area, Springs area, or just Colorado in general, go down there and check that out. I know, Matt, you said hopefully you can bring the kiddo down there to snatch up some rookies, maybe some shiny Pokemons.
Maybe we'll find some Pokemons, gets excited about that. See, that's what's good about like the kids love it, like in cards too, is it doesn't even matter if they like the same cards as I can go to these places and I can all right, I can turn them loose and then I can go. We were at a card shop real quick before we get at it. I almost spent $50 on an old school Tiger Woods Upper Deck card that I wanted when I was a kid. And then I had to remember, I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do with this card. If I see it again, I'm going to get it.
And again, if you're also a nerd like me, you can see behind me, they do have the Funko Pops and stuff like that as well. So always some good memorabilia you'll catch down there.
Yeah, it's just a great place to go. I can't. I'm definitely going to be out there for that.
Yeah,
and then
so
maybe we can do something. I can do something.
I mean, I'll let them know if 14th and 15th. Maybe I'll try to go down there Saturday as well, and we'll contact them, and maybe we'll get a table set up.
Maybe we can set something up. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
There you go. We're only doing it for the discount cards, though. We can't.
Hey, if you can give me a Caleb Williams rookie card, just hold it for me if somebody pulls it.
I heard this with the painted nails is worth a lot more.
It's got to be pink painted nails though. If you get it's got to be pink painted nails. So yeah, just put one aside for me. Jaden Daniels, maybe even a Brock Bowers. If you have any CJ Strouds from last season, save those for me. Maybe.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, that's going to be the sneaky pick this year. Quarterback is CJ Stroud. You got to get him. You got. If I would wait because he's going later in rounds.
Who did they get at wide receiver? They got
Tank Dell and they got
because they made a big move this offseason for a wide receiver. I thought.
I think he was hurt too.
All research zero yet.
Well, if that guy would be awake, just one day, if he could be awake and help us out on our show, it'd be great. Nico Collins.
That's asking a lot. Who was the big? I thought they made a big signing or a big trade though in the offseason. Maybe it wasn't wide receiver then.
Oh, so they got oh shoot.
Or maybe I'm just making that up.
No, I want the guy from Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
He was in Minnesota, then he went to Buffalo.
Yeah, I forgot his name already.
What's his name?
I can see him.
Me too.
He wears number 14.
Yeah.
Diggs, right?
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Stephon
Diggs. Yeah.
This Houston Texan team. Because I invested heavily in the Houston Texans. I love CJ Stroud. I might even purchase a CJ Stroud jersey, but Tuesday. If you know what that is, then you're awesome. But I've invested a lot in the Houston Texans. I think they're going to. I want to see them play Kansas City in a playoff situation because I think CJ has something for Patty. I do. I really do.
I don't know. The Olympic flag football quarterback is.
Oh, that guy's a freaking joke. My God.
He is right up there with Patty Mahomes.
From a flag football perspective, maybe if Pat Mahomes went in there, but Pat Mahomes plays tackle football and he does the same. I almost cussed. We almost had to put parental advisory. He does the same crap that these guys do, but he has the threat of getting tackled by. It's just like
I will say the behind the back pass was a little overrated. Like that's not that difficult to do.
Hey, I've seen Jake Plummer do that thousands of times.
Yeah, I've seen Jake
and not
Plummer
even on
throw with
purpose.
his left hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just
One thing I will say though is that Pat Mahomes gets blown up, and people say we've never seen a guy like Pat Mahomes before. I sound like Donald Trump right now. We've never seen a guy like Pat Mahomes before. I challenge you to go watch freaking John Elway play football in the 80s. And then you'll totally change how you feel about Pat Mahomes. We've never seen Pat Mahomes before. That's all I got to say about that.
And on that note, we will end it there. But yeah, that guy's crazy.
He's crazy. Flag football. Give me a break. He's like 5'8".
By the way, did you see him? And then he proceeds to throw a pass like Tim Tebow.
Yes, his throw, his release is terrible. It's like it comes way out here, his shoulder comes over here, then it comes over the top. It's like it's way worse than Tim Tebow. I know that's terrible vocabulary, but terrible grammar. But I'm just using it to make a point. He's way worser. That got me heated up, man.
We tend to screw up vocabulary when we're.
The English language jacks me up every day. I fight it all day long.
There you go. All right, but that's going to do it for us here on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyle. We are the Wheelhouse. Once again, go to e5280sports.com. Check out all that content. Like and follow all of our social media pages as well. But for Matt Mascarenas, I am Michael Spill. We will talk to you next week.